Hey, what we're going to do today is look at 5 metal albums from the early 2000s. And that was more of a coincidence. I just picked up 5 albums from around that time, and they were all 2004. I think one's 2005. But, anyways, first album we have here is Primordial, The Gathering Wilderness. Primordial are an Irish band that formed in 1993, and this is their 5th album. And actually, any week now, they are going to put out their 10th full-length album, which I definitely will be buying. But this is probably their first or second most popular album, with their first or second most popular song, The Coffin Ships. This came out on Metal Blade in 2005. A label they're still with, I believe. And what's their style? Definitely a mixture of black metal, epic doom, dark classic heavy metal, but they definitely sound Irish. And when I say that, I'm not talking some Irish jig sticking out like a sore thumb, shoehorned into the middle of the songs, or these, folky intros and outros. No, it's sounds Irish, but it's all in the metal. It's all in the metal. These guys are an awesome band, and definitely a band I'll be talking about again. Next up, Fear Factory, Archetype. Fear Factory started off as somewhat of a death metal band, but definitely got futuristic, industrial elements that came in very early and are still there to this day. And I've never really been into that sound, the really precise sound, the machine-like thing they're going for. Futuristic sci-fi lyrics, not my thing either. I bought Demanufactured when it came out and sold it a couple years later. Saw a release, but again, not my thing. So I've always been telling myself, not my thing, not my thing. And I haven't heard anything that Fear Factory put out after this album in 2004. This came out on Liquid Records and Entertainment. But I have to admit, though, when I bought this, I liked it. So I don't know what stopped me from pursuing the band further. But I did think this was a cool release when it came out. Next up, Probot. If you didn't know, Probot were a side project from Dave Grohl. And this came out in 2004 on Southern Lore Records. So the concept of this band was Dave Grohl performing songs in the style of the metal bands that he grew up being into. And the songs are written by Dave, with the singers of those bands performing the vocals. So what do we got here? We got Kronos from Venom, Max from Sepultura, Lemmy from Motorhead, Kurt from DRI, Mike from COC, Lee Dorian from Cathedral, Wino from The Obsessed, and St. Vitus. Who else do we got here? Got King Diamond, Eric Wagner from Trouble, Snake from Voivod, Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost. But my favorite songs on here have got to be Sweet Dreams with King Diamond and Ice Cold Man with Lee Dorian. And there's actually a hidden track with Jack Black doing the vocals. And the song's called I Am the Warlock. It's kind of a Jack Black thing, kind of metal, but kind of silly. But I should say, this album here, all the songs are pretty good. They all do a good job with sounding like the bands that they're influenced by. But none of the songs themselves are that standout or all that amazing. So it's a cool release, but not one I take out too often. This is Meshuggah, Catch 33. So Meshuggah are a popular metal band that formed in 1987 in Sweden. And this is their 5th full-length album, and they currently have 9 at this point. So this album is one song, but broken up into, I think, 13 movements. And I've always thought Meshuggah were cool when I heard them, but it just doesn't have the vibe that I'm looking for. But much like Fear Factory, and again, both these albums came out in 2004, as much as I continually say not my thing, I do think this is a good release, and I did enjoy it at the time. Finally, Suspiria Unlimited. This is a blackened thrash band from Norway, but when I say that, you might think Aura Noir or Nocturnal Breed, just kind of extreme black metal meets thrash. But this is definitely more of an American style. They have been compared to Testament a million times, especially on this album. The vocals sound like Chuck Billy, and the music sounds like a more blackened Testament. Solid stuff, but not a band I've kept up with. This was put on Candlelight, again in 2004, as well as Taboo Recordings, which is the same label that put out Enslaved's Issa, and I think this label is no more, which is why Issa's a hard one to get your hands on, at least a new copy. And as I mentioned before, I think even used copies of Issa are going for like $40 minimum from what I see. But that's it. 4 cool albums from the 2000s, and I'll see you next time. Bye.